whatsoever whatsoever I face today together, you and I can handle it. Okay. All right. We got this. All right. And then I say all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who call it just purpose. Then I make up my bed. I got to have the bed made up. You want to get your environment in order. Get stuff. It affects your thinking. Believe it or not, it affects your thinking. I'm telling you things that allow you. You're getting ready. This major disruption is preparing you. If you do the work, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. If you do the work, commit thy works. That's external work and internal work. When you come out of this place where we are, you'll be at the top of your game. I'm telling you what I know. My goal is to be at the top of my game before I get out of here. Does that make sense? Absolutely. Seize the moment. Work while there's still light. A lot of people are worried. No. You are not a warrior. You are a warrior. You fought back from many things in your life. You were born to win. And there's a time that you have to know that. And here's the next thing is, sell yourself on that. I had to sell myself. When I lost the first house that I bought for my mother, I had to sell myself on me. Because I was beating myself up. Call myself stupid and dumb, that I didn't do a title search. And I had to sell myself, constantly listening to various motivational messages, reading positive things. I had to sell myself on me. Most people are not sold on them. You know people who are smart, have all kinds of degrees going for themselves. And they are not living a life where they're fully independent. You want to live your life in a way that you're fully independent, that you don't have to rely on anybody. And you got to take steps to do that. And so as you look at yourself, look at your goals and dreams. Sell yourself on you. I lost this job, so what? I got that when I was looking for one. I'll find another one, the journey of the broke, or I will create one. Do what you can, because you can. You can create your own job. If you give yourself a chance, I'm telling you what I know. If you give yourself a chance, and I had to do this, I had to look in the mirror and say, you know what, Les Brown? You know why I keep on firing you? Because you got too much mouth, and you get caught up in the politics of the place. You know why they fire you? Because you have not recognized the reality that you don't deserve to be here. God has something else better for you. Now, but he needs your cooperation. He needs you to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm saying to you, you didn't lose a job. You were just released to manifest your greatness in the next greatest version of yourself, doing something that you are your own boss. Girl, I don't have no money. Don't tell me about what you don't have. What you have is enough. You are the money. You are the money. It's never a shortage of money. Money has left the planet. It's a shortage of thinking.
Are you ready for us?
There are people that have gone from bankruptcy to millions, to billions. People who've gone from being homeless and to earning millions of dollars. And there are people living comfortable lives, and those people, they were passed by. Comfort is not your option right now. But I know you feel like Mother Teresa. See, I know we all say it. God wouldn't put this on you if he didn't know you can handle it. He knows how much you can bear. Mother Teresa said, Lord, I know you know. on Tshwane FM 93.6.
45 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock. It's a great evening, and thank you so much for your listening pleasure tonight. The Capital Talk is exactly where you are between the hour 6 and 8 p.m. every Monday to Thursday. My name is Mokete Radebe. I'm your news pioneer, and thank you so much for joining us on our live stream. We're coming through to you live on Facebook. It is Tshwane Space FM Space 93.6. Check out Mokete Radebe on Facebook and on YouTube. That's exactly where we are bringing the great news live to you as well. Yeah, man. Tonight we're going to be looking at the opportunities in the property space with our property mogul, and that is Tony T. He's really joining us on the line. And of course, later on, towards the hour of 7 p.m., we'll be chatting to the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Teaching, Learning and Technology at the Tshwane University of Technology. That is Professor Stele Mukhola, together with the student leaders from the various structures with regards to the closing down of campus and shutting down of activities due to various issues, but largely the students are saying they don't want to write examinations, and we'll be hearing from that. Tony T is joining us on the line. Tony, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us, my brother. Tony? Oh, it seems we've lost Tony. We're going to try and get him back on the line. Tony, hi.
Yes, sir. How are you?
We're good. Are you well?
My apologies about that. Yes, I'm fine now.
Awesomeness. Let's get straight into it. What's happening in property this week?
Yes, so this week I actually want to talk about sellers, people who are planning to sell their property.
All right.
That's the main topic for today.
Yeah.
So there's a document called a mandate that each and every seller should know about. So basically, what is a mandate? A mandate is an instruction that the seller gives to the agent in order for them to sell the property.
All right.
Yes. So now there's different types of mandates that you find. But then before I get into the mandates, there's some pieces that I just want to read out so that the listeners from home can hear. So it says, according to common law principles, there are no formal requirements for a contract of mandate, and therefore a seller may verbally grant a mandate to an estate agent. It is obviously bad business practice to enter into a verbal agreement, as this may present evidentiary problems for both the agent and the seller in proving the existence of the end date of the mandate. And then also it says the common law principles discussed above have been amended in the Code of Conduct of Estate Agents by stipulating that a sole mandate and an exclusive mandate must be in writing and must be signed by the seller. So the first mandate that I'll be talking about is an open mandate. So essentially, just to summarize what an open mandate is, an open mandate is whereby the seller authorizes more than one agency, basically several agencies, to market their property. The agent that is the effective cause of the sale is the one that is entitled to the commission. But then this also allows the seller to sell the property themselves. This is what we call an open mandate. Basically, every more than one agent or several agents can sell the property, and also the owner himself can sell the property. And then from an open mandate, the next point you find is a dual mandate. So what a dual mandate is, it's whereby the seller authorizes a limited number of agencies, either 2 or 3 agencies, to sell the property. So basically, the agency that is the effective cause of the transaction will be entitled to commission. But then this also allows the seller to sell the property themselves as well. So basically, just to summarize dual mandate, a dual mandate is when you give the mandate to 2 or 3 agencies to market your property. But also it allows you as the seller to sell the property yourself. And then the third point is a sole mandate. So what is the sole mandate? So basically, what the piece that I'm reading says, it says the relevant agency and the seller agree that the agency has the right to market the property to the exclusion of all other agencies. Basically, what this means is that the owner only appoints one agency to market the property. So basically, when that one agency markets that property, what that agency does is that he commits to marketing the property fully and also give out all his efforts into selling this property. Because now what happens is that if it's an open mandate, obviously if there's 5 agencies selling the property, not all of them will give in their 100% because they know that the next agent might sell the property. But then now if you have a sole mandate, you're basically the only agent that's marketing the property, which entitles you to give the seller 100% commitment into selling the property. And then also it says that it's normally granted for only a limited period. So basically a sole mandate, it's not something that can be done for over a year. So basically on the agreement, it should have a specific period on which the mandate will last for. And then also, if another agency sells the property during this period, the seller will still remain liable to pay commission to the person who has the mandate, who has the sole mandate. Essentially, if you're an owner and you're selling the property and you sign a sole mandate with an agent or an agency, and then it so happens that another agency sells the property, the person with the sole mandate has the right or is also entitled for commission. So as a seller, it's always important that if you are selling the property through a sole mandate, it should only be sold by one agency, because if 2 agencies sell it, both of them will claim commission for the transaction. And then the last mandate I want to talk about is an exclusive mandate. So just to explain an exclusive mandate, it says this type of mandate dictates that the relevant agency will exclusively sell the property within the period allowed. In this case, the seller renounces the right to sell the property himself during the exclusive mandate period. And also, what happens is that with an exclusive mandate, essentially only the agency can sell the property and not necessarily the owner. But then now, when it comes to an exclusive mandate, there are certain crucial things that are important. For instance, when a seller signs an exclusive mandate or hands over an exclusive mandate to an agent or an agency, the agency should also prepare a marketing plan showing how they will actually market the property throughout the period that was agreed into the contract.
Interesting. 52 minutes after 6 o'clock, Tony T is on the line with us. If you are interested in property, this is your guy as we are discussing some of the opportunities in that space. Please proceed, Tony T. Yeah.
Yeah, so with regards to the 4 types of mandates that I've mentioned, obviously all of them have got their disadvantages and their advantages. So let's just touch on firstly an open mandate. You know, firstly there's this myth that people say that if you have an open mandate, you stand a good chance of selling your property faster. I mean, I don't really think so, because all the agents, or all of us as agents, what we do is that we list the properties on the same platforms. So now what happens is that if let's say there's 7 agents that are marketing your property, basically on Property 24, there will be 7 agents marketing your property, and all the same buyers will see that property. And sometimes if the property has got a lot of agents selling it, it does sort of spike a sort of doubt, because they ask themselves, like, why is the property listed by a number of agents? If the seller desperate to sell the property, why isn't the property selling? So it does raise some concerns. But then the main disadvantage that I don't like about this is that what happens is that sometimes it happens that you have a buyer who comes and views the property with agency number 1, for instance. And then it so happens that, let's say, he doesn't agree to proceed with the deal with agency number 1 for whatever reason. And then that same buyer contacts the 3rd agent and then signs an offer to purchase using the 3rd agent on the same property. Essentially, what happens is that the owner now can be entitled to pay at what we call double commission. Because the first person is the one who introduced the client to the property. As much as he's not the effective cause of the sale, he's the one that introduced that party to the property. So he's actually entitled to commission. So essentially now, you as an owner can happen to pay commission twice, to the first agent and the second agent. So that's the biggest disadvantage about having an open mandate. So I advise sellers to be very mindful of that. And then also, a dual mandate is also good because, for instance, you do find instances whereby you've got a family relative or a neighbor who's an estate agent. And obviously, since all you selling a property, you can actually offer the mandate to them. But then on the other hand, it could have happened that there was an agent who was prospecting and so happened to give you his service of marketing the property. But then obviously, since you already have a relative that can market your property, you as an owner can be like, you know what, you would rather give this mandate to two people. And then that's when the mandate can be given to two people. So if either of the parties sell the property, the other ones will be the effective cause of the sale and will be entitled to commission.
Interesting. 55 after 6 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6 is still where we are. That is Tony T on the line. And is this where we wrap it up for today, Tony?
Yes. Just my closing argument. What I'd like to advise sellers out there is that whenever you choose an agent, just see how much they have to offer on the table. What's most important is the reputation and also to see if they actually are active on the market. Normally, a very good agent will come up to you and present to you what they feel or believe is the best price for your property to sell in the most line. So the best thing that they will do is that they'll compile a comparable market analysis, which will show you how the price is determined. They'll also give you insights about the area and about how the property market is going. In most cases, if an agent is that informative about that property industry or that aspect, chances are he does stand a good chance of selling a property. So in most cases, some sellers don't even know that there's different types of agencies, And then another important thing is that here's another thing that a lot of sellers don't know. If the agent does not have an SSC number, they are not entitled to commission. And this is under the code of conduct of the estate agents. So it sometimes happens that you get prospected by an agent who wants to sell your property. He happens to sell your property, but then that person is not registered to sell properties because they could have been banned or it's a non-existing agency. So sellers, be very mindful of the agents that you make use of. Make sure that they have an FSC number. An FSC number is basically a number that is registered under the Estate Agency Affairs Board, which is sort of like a license for that agent to sell a property. Hence, it's always important before you even start looking for an agent or marketing your property, get to know the agent, get to know the agency. It's very crucial because it might backfire in the end or you might lose money on the deal.
Amazing. 57 after 6 o'clock, 20. This is where we leave it. Have a great evening, my brother.
Thank you so much, and have a lovely evening as well.
Awesomeness. We'll be now jumping to student leaders together with Professor Stanley Mukhola on this one. And we're looking at a number of things that are happening in that particular space. Man. Tshwane FM 93.6 continues to be the station that rocks you most. And thank you so much for tuning in. Let's take a throwback with some great music. When we come back, we're joined by student leaders from various structures with Professor Stanley Mukhola joining us in the line. And we said no. How they send the no?
I like this Steve style, yo. I mean, the way I'm moving, I want to swoop me in his 2 feet. That's stuff. And I got special ways to think.
Yeah, no. It's short if you don't know believe in it, eh?
But I got a phone. I got like a phone.
Yeah, jealous, my friend. You're jealous.
Your mic still broke.
Yeah, no. You do WhatsApp ka pele. What's your number? You do WhatsApp ka pele. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we send it.
East Coast, I love you, sugar.
Ah, non so cosa è, ragazzi. Uno che le pace.
I don't believe you will believe like this. I don't believe I just had my last real kiss. I don't believe you will never reminisce. Talk about this, man.
I'm good, holding down the spot, and I'm good. Running the girls on the block, and I'm good. I got this thing on lock, so without me, you'll be fine, right? All my pride is all I have.
Professor.
Baby girl, what you have.
Okay, let me call you back.
Be easy, don't make decisions when you have.
And you chose to run alone.
I know you're independent, you can make it on your own.
Here with me, you have a home.
Time is of the essence, why stay alone?
Yes, Pops, please stay on the line. Eh?
I got this thing on lock, so without me you'll be fine, right? All my pride is all I have.
3 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock. How Unolikai. I'm telling you, man, this is the days when we used to have music books. They share music through the share it and whatnot. No. During our days, we used to have music books. You knew the lyrics from 0 to 100, from A to Z. It was so awesome, man. That's a double play. That was Nelly featuring Kelly on that one. Dilemma, and following that it was Jarul as well. And Jam and just great music on a throwback Tuesday that will be playing for you. As I did mention to you guys earlier on, and I think we did mention it even yesterday, that we'll be speaking to the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Teaching, Learning and Technology, that is Professor Stanley Mukhola, to speak to us about what is currently happening on campus. Since last week, there was a protest that forced activities to be stopped at various TUT campuses, but indefinitely yesterday, all activities were shut down across all TUT campuses. And I saw a communique today that read as follows, that there was a fruitful engagement between CINEX and the transitional ISRC and the CSRCs together with SFCs to deliberate on some of the issues. But just to give us a clear light, we'll be speaking to Professor Stanley Mukhola. But he's not the only one coming in. We're joined by Makaza from the EFF Student Command and Kelvin Petla from the South African Student Congress. Makaza, what's your surname? What's your surname? Khafel. Yes. Makaza Khafel. Yes. Okay, Makaza Khafel as well is joining us from the EFF Student Command to speak to us. We're coming through to you live on Facebook. It is Tshwane Space FM Space 93.6. Otherwise on Facebook, also check out for Mokete Radebe, and on YouTube, it is Mokete Radebe. We're looking forward to all those comments. I see as well, Rendani Masera says, you're playing classics. Yes, my brother, classics and nothing else. And Tabisin Radebe Mtimkulu, yes, Mzala, man. It's great music. And Rendani says, 2Ks won't know these songs. I agree, Rendani, they wouldn't. During these times, man, the lyrics, only the lyrics tapina or melele love kin, the gara love letter. Isn't that the WhatsApp or the mix it, whatever the case may be. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Professor Mukhola is joining us on the line. Professor, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm fine, Mokete. How are you?
No, I'm coping, man. I'm coping. Can why go to campus?
I went to the campus when I'm kidding. When I was told.
All right.
I was told when you're going to say that California to an Mokete. When you're going to say that because qualification has called Mokete is a very expensive currency.
Sure.
And how can you tell when I go to the party that I'll cut a responsible person will never do that. Never in our life can we simply say a student can come to TUT and get a cheap currency and go. That will be a day. So, referring to Mokete because we never had a supervised summative test. Listen, Mokete, test. Summative test, where students sit and they get invigilated and we're sure of the quality that we are providing to our students. We get accredited by CHE to offer a program. If CHE sees that we are messing up this program, they close it down. Whenever they should have learned when we had a very serious issue, that program we had dental technology, wherein our authority to examine students was taken away because they said we did not do it the right way. And they simply said, because you are messing up this program, we are going to set the exam for our students. You are not going to be in control. We cannot raise it. The program is how can I check health sciences, engineering, ICT. Whenever when they finish, they get registered with the council, who are checking us every day to see what we are doing is in line with the policy or not. Summative assessment is a policy of TUT. It's under continuous assessment. It says in PT, for a semester, you have to give 4 tests. Of the 4, 1 must be supervised test. 1 must be supervised, meaning invigilated, so that you guarantee the quality of what you are getting out. Not to simply say a student must go and sit at home. Ask somebody to write a test for him online and send it and say now, TUT must accept it. We'll be very naive to accept that. We'll be very naive. We'll be selling our students and taking their qualifications into a dustbin. And this is the last thing TUT must be prepared to do. This is why I have to explain to students the rationale of what we are doing. There's nothing new. They've been doing continuous all this year. Now, for them to say now, because we were taught all that was right online, it's really short-sightedness. Because the students themselves, by the way, they phone me, they tell me that, Prof, it's true. What you say, when we write online, we click. You are students who are telling me. You must ignore all of this and say, no, it's fine. Let them pass one, pass all. Then they think I'll be doing the right thing. So, Mukete, this is the last thing we're going to do. What they said yesterday to me that now, Prof, then give us enough time to study. Then I agree because it's a reasonable thing to do. I given them a week. We postpone the test until next week, the 8th, so that now they can go and study. Because summative assessment is a test, it's not a full exam. There are only a few subjects in engineering, for instance, where they write exams. But again, because they agree that they want to have only exams because they want to ensure quality. Because if you don't, every second year we get beaten by X for engineering council. If they see that we are messing up the problem, they do accredit us immediately. So this is what people are asking to do that in order for us now not to offer engineering anymore, not to offer health science anymore. So if I succumb to that pressure and do what they're asking me to do, then I better resign and not work for TUT because I'll be putting their qualification into a dustbin. And this is the last thing I'm going to do as long as I'm working for TUT.
A quick one, Prof. Given the uncertainty of how COVID-19 infections have been happening, particularly amongst young people with the current second wave of COVID-19, is the university structurally prepared to can host supervised, final examinations or other assessments?
The COVID-19 is nothing new. We had COVID-19 last year, November, December, when we did our examination. We did everything in our power to make sure that now we arrange venues properly, where the right number of students are allowed to go and write. We put all sanitizers. We did everything by the book. This is why even now, the same arrangement that we did in November, when students vote, is in place. Students are protected. They are secured. There's no way we can flout the COVID-19 rules because we'll be compromising the lives of our students and our staff. And it will be irresponsible of us to do things like that. So when COVID-19 is there, it doesn't mean that now we must simply say students get a free pass to pass all of you. Then it will be irresponsible to use that as an excuse to simply say, pass one, pass all. It will be completely a very naive thing to do.
So as it stands, the argument between you and the SRCs today was that examinations are continuing, but they will be extended. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we have given them an extension by a week to say they wanted to go and have a preparation, which we agree, and I agree 100% because if they say we were caught off guard, which I doubt, of course, because the policy of continuous is nothing new. It is in the web. Everybody knows about it. That there will be a supervised one test of the 4 in every semester. So, because they are pleading for help to say we want to go and study, I thought I would be stupid if I reject that. Then we agreed on that.
Awesomeness. Let me go to comments on Facebook, and I'll be opening up the lines in the next 2 minutes or so. Let's just look at what's happening in our comments section. Now, there's one comment from Smile Mashisha. I'm waiting for Prof. Smile. The Prof has arrived. Tasha October says Prof. Mukhola must take our academics seriously. But maybe before I proceed with that, let me accept this call on the line. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. I'm good. Kibwale mang uliko kai? Wait. Mpho, listen. Mpho. Listen. I'm going to drop it. Let's talk properly. What is the comment?
I'm saying,
yeah.
you are against the prof. You must know that it's very old and it's retired. It's given extension which are illegal. Just retired. Students are not going to write an examination. It's what we are saying because it's what they were saying in one community. But right now, they are old. When you're going to cheat how much.
All right. So students don't want to write examinations.
We don't want to write examination.
All right. Thank you so much, Mpo. That's Mpoke Kana saying they don't want to write examination. Thank you so much, Mpo. It's 14 minutes after the hour. It's 14 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock. Still checking some of your comments. It seems as if we've lost Professor Mukhola. Prof, we seem to have lost you there.
I wonder, Mokete, what could have happened here because I lost you too.
Yeah.
Phone back, please. Phone back.
I'll phone you back. I'll phone you back just now.
Thanks.
You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Okay, we lost him there. So we're going to try and get Prof. Mukhola back on the line again. There we go. Before I can continue the comments. I'm joined as well by Kelvin Petla in studio and Makaza Mukhafela in studio. Yes, Prof. Just hold on the line. Yes, just hold on the line, Prof. I want to proceed. Yeah, I want to proceed with the comments so that I can move to the calls quickly. So Tasha October says, you must take them serious as if because they feel that you've wasted enough time already. Can they just continue with assessments and tests online? That was the agreement from the start. Why the sudden change now? The change that they're not even prepared for. And then Tsehofazo says, if there was no quality in online learning, why did the university introduce it in the first place? If you can just answer those two questions. They're saying the time has run out for them. They need to finish this the academic calendar. But secondly, why, if the online assessments are not tradable, why did the university introduce them in the first place?
Mokete, I want to see who told the students that now they won't be writing their fourth assessment test. Nobody has ever said this. When I issued a statement, I was just reminding them because they always say we must always keep in touch with them. I was quoting exactly what is in the policy. I can assure you, I told them yesterday, when read our continuous assessment policy and show me where it says you must not take supervised assessment test. Show me there.
Sure.
In our policy, it's not there. The question is, why did we go online? Yes, because we wanted to keep them online and give them all the opportunities to get prepared for this final day, which has arrived. So they cannot say because we were taught online, we must write all subjects online. By the way, our system doesn't have a security. We don't have control over the cell phone of the student who is sitting at home and write our test. We never have a security. This is why I tell you now. The students themselves are phoning me to tell me, so when we write online, we creep. These are the students who are telling me. So with that person who says, I must simply accept those results and compromise the qualification of our students. I want to see that person, whether you sit at home and feel great that I've passed, I've actually copied everything. I want to see that person.
Yeah, just a quick one. I see there's another comeback from Tsehofazo who's saying advanced diploma students are not writing the examinations. How exactly does this,
It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. There's what we call an open book exam. These are senior students. The questions that we put for them, we have got what we call high order questions. You can take your book and sit with it. You never get an answer from the book. It's a high order question, which if we do it for the first year, nobody will pass. These children must just be prepared. From level 1 to level 3, you will never risk to have what we call an open book, where now you are allowed by law, but you cannot get what we call application. You don't have to write application first year, second year. There's a percentage of questions that we can put as high order for the 3, but not all of them because we'll be failing our students. So you cannot compare yourself with a student who is a senior student who understands the logic of open book. You can't.
All right. Let me move to calls quickly. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. And as I accept these calls, please shoot straight to the question or comment. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Hello,
Mokete, how are you?
Good.
I'm fine. You're speaking to Elvis Mamba.
Yes, Elvis. Short and sharp. Let's get straight to it, my brother.
My brother, to be brief,
yeah.
I think I need to make register this point. My brother, we actually never encountered such an impact in TUT. What the Prof Mukhola is doing is actually a blunder, my brother, because I can tell you now, there are many universities that they completed the academic year through online assessment, my brother. They are many and we have evidence of that. But you see that we should sit in. Our first fundamental question is that have you had vaccine? Because my brother, I can tell you, in those venues, today, I can tell you today, we have to go and dismiss the test that was sitting. When we arrived there, the attendance was not even 50% of the venue. It was over there. This man is arrested. Second to that, this man, you say this is subject activity, right? Until further notice. But there are people who are writing. Are those not activities? He's a bad man. I can tell you my brother, man. In TUT, in history, we never
Elvis,
we never refute
Elvis,
exam, my brother.
Elvis, let me interject there. Elvis, Elvis, listen. I'm going to switch off the call. Elvis, listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, I want us to have a respectful conversation. We are not going to exchange words that are not necessary. This is a public broadcasting space. Let's keep it within the rules of engagement. Please respect the work that I'm doing because I respected you by taking your call. Are we in agreement? Okay. Please proceed with your point.
So my brother, what I was saying actually is that in TUT, we never refused to write examination.
Yeah.
By the way, we've been passing, excelling, sitting. We understand my brother. But the issue we're facing now, even with gate and mandate, people they enter without even being screened and all those things. And why?
Elvis. Hello, Elvis. It seems we are losing Elvis there. I'm not sure, but it's definitely not our line. I think it's his line on the other side. We have not dropped his line. We want to accept it if he comes back. But let's take another line. So long. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Hi. Please switch off the radio on the other side.
Am I fine now?
We still hear the echo. You have not switched off the radio.
Can you still hear the echo?
Yeah, now you are fine.
All right, you are speaking to Robert right here in Ohio.
Oh, yes, Robert. How are you, my brother?
Yes. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm great. Make your point.
Firstly, I'd like to say that the professor is speaking a lot of nonsense there.
My man, Robert, you don't say someone is... Robert, listen. I'm the one hosting the show. There's specific words you cannot use. You cannot say... another individual is speaking nonsense. You can disagree with what they are saying, but nonsense is not what they're going to. Is not what is permitted. Let's respect one another.
All right.
Can you do that for me? Yeah.
TUT as it is currently. It's no longer following rules and regulations of COVID-19.
I'm
saying this because there are no longer essential workers in TUT. Essential workers have disappeared for a very long time. That is why today we find ourselves without COVID-19 essentials because TUT has taken a decision that there's COVID. But they've audacity to bring students back to campus to come and do examination, sitting examination. So, Professor now he comes and says we must have students who are going to come and write, but the staff will get home. So simply by saying that, they are contradicting yourself. So himself coming to the station today telling us that we must continue with sitting examinations unless we are sitting in COVID-19. It's reckless. It's a very reckless statement. But he's saying that students of TUT is going to lose quality. Speaking about the issue of quality, but you see that there have been many universities that have done that.
I hear you.
We have NISA that is doing online, and that they are supervising students online.
I hear you. I hear you.
So it can't be a point of disagreement, a point of argument that you and I will say that in TUT, the quality is going to be compromised by writing online. It simply shows that TUT itself, it doesn't have capacity.
I hear you. I hear you. But let's move to the next caller. I think you've registered your point there. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you very much.
You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. I'm well. Ribwale Manko Kai Papa.
We are speaking to the but about the resident.
Yes, Prime.
With all due respect,
yeah.
Just give me 1 minute.
I'm giving it to you, sir.
Prof. Mr. Mukhola, what they have started TUT.
Yeah.
When we started COVID-19, from last year, around March,
yeah.
Students were chased out from campus. To us, it was nice when students were chased out. We didn't have transport, and it was a short notice.
Yeah, goes on Taraba.
And then when we are at home,
yes.
TUT says we are not ready for online learning. What we are supposed to do, I'm making profit out, we are going to advise you. What we are supposed to do from there to just to put everything on hold until TUT become ready for online learning at the University of Technology. We move from there. When we were home during COVID-19, students, they wrote 2 assignments at home with no data, with no device, with a poor network, with a load shedding and everything. And then we had to come back after the country moved to another level last year. I'm reminding the university the whole. I'm removing from Mukhola aside. And then from that time, when we are coming back, the university delayed to bring students back. They said they are bringing them kind of numbers, group 50%, and all those numbers. It was an issue as well. Other students, they wanted to come home. There are students who can't start the capacity at home. So if you are at home, you must clean, you must do all those things, whatever that current they'll send you to do. On the other side, you must go online and attend class and everything. Fine. We are moving again. After that, the numbers came, and then we have to go back again home. We promised we are going to come back on the 4th of March. On the January, this year, 2021. When students are prepared, they are supposed to come back on the 4th of January. Mr. Prof. Mukhola, he said, the students, they cannot come back now. To whatever the country have moved to another cave of COVID-19. All of us, this thing is new. I'm surprised today when Mukhola can go live, and say, this thing is not new to us of COVID-19. Even lecturers, they are frustrated. Students, they are frustrated. Even themselves, they are frustrated. Even staff of TUT, majority, they die. We are not healed. But now we are at the point where students, they are being punished. Now we are back. The statement that Mukhola released from the 4th of January, students, they wanted to come back, and then today's students, the VC reversed the statement and brought back students. And the time when those students were brought back during January, the university is safe, not 100%. Those who can't start at home, who are facing short shedding, they can come back to the residence. No one will stop them. Today, now, students are being told today, tomorrow come back, you must come and write contact learning in the bill. You must just have where are you going to get Mandana. These students, even since the whole is the one that is hosting the many students in the university capacity. And then on top of that, it is the one that is using students for NSR. Majority of students are using NSR for tuition. Compared to FUT, none. But here, 95% of students are using NSR.
Nyaguza Prayamsia, thank you so much.
When you are being told you must come back tomorrow and come and write, it's all chapters again. Let me correct Mr. Mukhola again. He's saying this students are given a week to study, to prepare, and look at for that test, online test of whatsoever. That is wrong. That is not enough. On top of that, the university does not have the capacity to put all these students to write. It's not comrades, not ESF or SACO, whosoever that is striking. The students themselves, but they are not ready to write. And on top of that, the University of TUT is the one that is there to complete the 2020 academic year. Students, they come with parents, they stay outside the gate. They come to put in their students and everything. On top of that, again, I want to go at Mr. Mokete.
Yeah, I see Varengale here.
No, the last one.
Yeah.
CUT is yelling the Lokulan. The Deputy Academic. We want to compete. We're almost done. Students are left with 1, 2, 3 assessments, and then we are done. Mr. Mukhola now change the assessment. Students, they must go to contact them in land. There's COVID-19. Our university is not prepared. They lie to Mr. Press. They tell Mr. Press there to Hara, who is prepared. Button is prepared. Nana. He's not prepared. Mr. People can move all over us to QT. This thing is not getting in the region. They air that in and out without mask, without sanitize, without anything. QT is not ready.
Nyaguzos here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much here. All right. Hey Tara. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock. That is Sia speaking to us from Makhalis. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Okay, we missed that one. Here's another one. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Tshwane, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. It's Amos here.
Yes, Amos.
It's Amos from Muzinda.
Yes, Amos.
I'm saying that I'm very much happy with what the leaders are saying there, because whatever what they're saying is true. We are in a university of technology whereby our technology has to be more advanced. And then now they are telling us that students must come and write online, of which is not good. That's what they are not promised before. Students were promised that those ones who have to write practicals, those ones who have to do like poetry, they must come. And then they were receiving these things of studies. Now they are saying that students must write content examination, whereby other students are still at home. So what must happen with those students who are still at home? Must they rush now and come to Pretoria from wherever they are just to write those contact examination, whereby they were not even planning for them because they were told that they are going to write online. Now why the sudden change? How can we allow that?
Thank you so much, Amos.
Yeah, we are saying students must continue to write online. This university is a university of technology. Therefore, we cannot be told that our academics or whatever our qualifications are going to be compromised. Because a lot of universities are still doing that. They wrote online and it was a success. Equally, ours can be a success. We love our university so much. We believe in it. So our leaders must just do the right thing there.
Awesomeness. Thank you so much, Amos. Have a lovely evening there, my brother.
Sharp, my brother.
Awesomeness. I'm gonna pause a bit on calls and move back to Prof. Mukhola, because it appears as though we've lost him and he's been trying to get a hold of us. Let's try and get Prof. Mukhola back online to also just engage with the student leaders. And we do have Mr. Katlevo Petha as well joining us on the line, and we also joined Kelvin Petha, sorry. Professor, we seem to have lost you a bit, and there's just been a lot of calls there, but I want to bring you back because I'm still joined by the two student leaders here from the EFF Student Command.
I don't know what's going on today, Mukit. I keep on trying to phone you back. It says you are not available. I say, what's going on today?
Yeah, no. I think I hope that the phones are not on strike. But let's just wrap it up quickly. Now, two things. There's been callers and students are saying part of the challenge that they are facing is that some of them are not on campus, and now they feel that this was a short notice, and some are of the view that the university is inadequately prepared for COVID-19 because of there's a seer who called earlier on who was saying if you go to the residences, you'd see that people are going in and out without masks. That's a reflection that the university is not ready. But before you come back to us, I want to bring in the student leaders from the EFF Student Command. I'm joined by Makaza from the EFF Student Command and Kelvin from the South African Student Congress. And let me just bring them in so that we can just have this lovely conversation. I'm going to pause calls for now so that we can push this conversation and get feedback from your side and the conversation between you and them going. Let me start with you, Makaza. Makaza, how are you?
I'm fine.
I'm great, my brother. Prof. Mukhola is in studio with us. You can just treat him and speak to him.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, let me just help you with that mic. You can just put it here. Okay. We'll be able to pick you up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm speaking from the capacity of the chairperson of the EFF Student Command.
Yeah.
Right. And ours is very clear because we received a mandate from the provincial secretary.
Yeah.
To say that actually what the DVC of teaching and learning.
Yeah.
Right. That is doing and imposing is own views
Yeah.
towards students' populace, specifically in TUT,
Yeah.
and contradicting himself year in and year out. It clearly shows that Prof. Mukhola specifically doesn't care about students.
Yeah.
Actually,
What makes you to say that?
because Prof. Mukhola, indeed, in a simple way, is an old man that occupies an office of innovation, and then that office of innovation, it needs young blood to progress it properly. Hence, when you're an old person, you are very slow in making decisions. You are just going to make reckless decisions like that.
Yeah, let's jump into the recklessness of the decision. Now, there's an issue at hand now of examinations, and let's just jump into that one. What is it specifically that you are not comfortable with, particularly because of Prof earlier on mentioned the issue around how the governing body of the South African qualifications framework requires TUT to have examinations. So what is it that you're uncomfortable with regards to that examination?
Mukete, from going back on what I said with the reckless decision. Firstly, during the revolution, the time we were protesting, I met one of the invigilators.
Yeah.
Who he said that actually they knew a month before that actually we're going to write examinations. But now Prof. Mukhola, he comes and they got that mandate from Prof. Mukhola himself. So now he comes 3 days prior on starting or on the initiation of this particular examinations.
Yeah.
He tells students that we are going to write an examination. Imagine, we have first years basically who cannot even cope with this pressure that Prof. Mukhola is actually making them to be subjected to. Right. So now, as student leaders, we are saying that no contact examinations, and therefore we're going to maintain it like that, and we're very clear on that.
Kelvin, come in. Let's bring Calvin from the South African Student Congress. Calvin, good evening.
Good evening, my boss.
Yeah, I'm great, my brother.
Excellent.
You've heard the prof, and here's Makaza as well. What is the view from your side?
All right. No, ours is very clear and very simple. Our interest and objective is equally supported by the views of students. That's where we lead.
Yeah.
We are democratically advised by students on how we should serve them.
Yeah.
So in the midst of everything, the DVC of teaching and learning, which is our Nende, Prof. Mukhola, of which is leading the university in the sector of academic sector. But at the current moment, we're having an examination that stands not to sit in the university. Now, what Prof is saying there is clearly a clear contradiction to what has been alluding the previous year, the year 2020, till today. Prof said one thing: academic activities, they are continuing online. And academic activity is what? It's anything that has assessment inside and also has teaching and learning. Then it means if indeed capacity and the maturity behind the assessment that must sit in campus, in that particular tent there, whereby we encountered what last year? Rain. Rain is a natural situation that cannot be calculated or measured accordingly, decisively so, as far as God is concerned and his creator, like in his organisms of creating thoughts of living in this particular sector are concerned. Okay. So right now, when you check, Prof never calculated the cost of nature encountering what students in the sector of writing in a particular regard. There was a rain, and the whole floor or the whole surface, that side was full of water flowing. Then automatically, let's question the issue of the thinking capacity, the regulator of thought, whereby a student must take what? Knowledge in the brain, expressed way in the paper, whereby on the surface, we have a large number or a large amount or a voluminous water floating in that situation. Yeah. We have wind at the same time. That was not necessarily calculated. Now we speak of ventilation. That area on its own, it does not provide ventilation. Sure. It provides a moria of air flowing inside that space. And if that space is encountering a large amount of air, automatically it tells you there's no focus. And then now let's speak of integrity of the qualification. If we want to speak in terms of the integrity of the qualification, let's speak in terms of the national qualification framework. With the Sepako University, not far away from us, with the University of Pretoria, not far away from us. At the same time, these universities are not the universities of technology. Secondary to that, these universities are not recognized as the best universities in the continent as far as technology is concerned. We are the first. If we are the first, whereby we are led by Prof. Ezekiel Mukhola at the current moment, whereby he failed to provide the most progressive and relevant teaching and learning that must run effectively and online, whereby we are the University of Technology, automatically it tells you we don't have the division of teaching and learning at the current moment who could ever provide an effective and efficient teaching and learning that must stand accordingly online. If you want to say that students were copying online, it means yourself, what did you do? What method did you provide to ensure there is still quality in that assessment? If you are saying to a student that it's a continuous assessment, it means you're going to add 4 activities, regardless of the summative one. If the summative one, you got 38 or 40 on that one, and then on continuous one, you got, let's say, an average of 77%. When you calculate everything, it gives you an average of 51, let's say, for instance. A student has completed. Now, how do we assess individual assessment towards a collective of all the assessment and make it a quality? What gives it integrity? Let's go to UNISA, not a university far away from us, next to us here in Sunnyside. It has been subjected to online activities for the past years, and it has run it properly and effectively. Did Prof consult with them on how did they assess their students in terms of maintaining the integrity? Because you must understand one thing, whether you're doing MBC, HB, or Bachelor's of Pharmacy, you can go to also engineering, or doing engineering or Bachelor's of Engineering in Civil or engineering in Mechanical or whatsoever. We focus on the NQF, is what makes us equal in the sector of employment, depending on your own abilities. Let's say, for instance, in the studio, we need someone of NQF level 9. It means we need someone of masters. Not necessarily which masters, but masters. Like when we employ in HOD level, if we need NQF level 10, we need NQF level 10. Regardless of your qualification, that's the NQF that we need. Like Prof right now is a deficit of teaching and learning in the office of TUT. At the same time, he holds a particular qualification that is not necessarily a qualification that we can say it carries capacity and momentum of study. If you go to health, if you go to education, include mathematics and science, they went to an extent of challenges of understanding what mathematics. Prof did a particular course that I even myself, I can do it overnight and pass it very well. Well, understand. At the current moment, I'm a teacher by profession, mathematics and physics. Completed it through the aid of the university that was supervised by him with the capacity of the lecturers. Now we're in the different space and time. Now, in this space and time, we're contested by what? By nature questioning us. If indeed we're the University of Technology, how best are we compared to universities that are not the University of Technology at the current moment?
Let's bring Professor to come in. 41 after 7 o'clock. I see comments already coming through. Professor, I think Makaza from EFF Student Command registered that they feel betrayed, I think, by the sudden call to suggest that there must be examination, primarily because they were only told 3 days ago, whereas there's invigilators that were told months ago, as he was alluding here. But most importantly, Kelvin here is saying other institutions just around Gauteng here, Pretoria to be specific, managed to complete their academic year online. How different is it when it comes to TUT and other institutions? Can you just jump in there?
Mokete, and I explained to the students, they must go and see what happened in Victoria. The students have got what we call a security feature in their laptops, which can simply monitor your movement, how you behave whilst you are writing exams. I invited the company in France to come and actually talk to us to see how we can get this to our system. That system, when you sit there and it sees that it suspects that you are cheating, it stops you from writing immediately. Another university here in Gauteng, they try to go online. As I talk to you now, they have been stopped and they are going to go back because what I wrote online was simply creeping of all exams and they have been cancelled. And I can tell you the university, one of them in our West here, they've declared now they are going to ask all their students to write all their exams face-to-face invigilated because the system is not good enough to monitor the behavior of students. so that they cannot creep. Because, like I told you, somebody told me, Mokete, and say, I can simply give my friend to write for me and email that script and I send it back. Is this what they want? To have a questionable qualification. Mokete, you remember one time it was there in the media when the people advertise position for IT, they will say, all students are required to apply, but students of QT must not apply. Is this what students are asking you to do? To put their qualification in a dustbin, which will mean nothing to the employers. Mokete, as a responsible parent, a responsible academic, I will never do that. By the way, we are talking today, I was talking to the BBC of academic in CPUT. We are discussing these matters, and we are saying, should we simply allow our students to get what we call a low-level qualification, which will mean nothing to them? If people are forcing me to do that, Mokete, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of our young people. I'm ashamed, unfortunately.
44 after 7 o'clock. Yeah.
What we are doing, Mokete, we are not doing anything out of the policy. And I beg students to go and read a policy on continuous assessment. We are doing exactly what it says. I explained earlier on to say the policy says in a semester for continuous assessment, you take 4 tests. Of the 4, 1 must be summative assessment test. What is different that we are doing, which is not in the policy? They must tell me. They must really tell me.
Interesting. I'll be moving now to the comments. Let me. Do you want to come in, Kevin? Makaza, do you want to come in?
Let me allow Makaza to come in.
Yeah, Makaza, come in. Because that's what Prof is saying. Do you want to jump in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for a platform again. What the Prof actually is saying is just speaking a lot of frivolics, a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, but remember, I spoke to you. You cannot say the professor is speaking nonsense. I think that is maybe you might withdraw that first, because remember, you must differ with him,
Yes.
but on principle.
Yes, I'm differing with him on principle.
On principle. So, but when you now saying he's speaking nonsense, then it's something else.
Frivolics.
Yeah, you can disagree with him,
Yes.
and that is allowed.
Yes.
And that is why we called you here, so that you don't agree with him. But let's do it in an integral manner.
Yeah, in a simple language.
Yeah.
Mokete.
Yes, Professor.
Mokete.
Yes,
I
Professor.
don't think these are my children, and it's unfortunate they are insulting me. I think I will never take that. The public is listening to this, and I'm being insulted by young people that I regard as my children. And I've got the interest of my children at heart. I'll never mislead them. What they are asking for is not very good for them. I know that. I told you earlier on the TV.
Yeah.
All our qualifications are accredited by CHE. They've got the right to come and say, never offer civil engineering anymore because your standards are deplorable. Is this what they are asking me to do? This is what they are insulting me that now because I don't give in to things that are wrong, then I'm not good enough?
Yeah, you know what?
And I wish you would have others who are growing up to understand reality.
What is important for me, Prof, and this is why we do the kind of work that we do, is it's for us to ultimately get to a break-even point where we are able to then meet each other, because the majority of students are saying they are not in agreement with what the university is proposing, and that is why we need to have this conversation. So to understand what are the dynamics that the university took into cognizant before they could say we need to go to examinations. But bearing in mind, because of students remain an integral part of the university setup. So we need to also
100%.
we need to understand, because of
this is why Mokete, I took time yesterday and talked to them, and
correct.
was so respectful yesterday in the SRC. But I find it very disturbing to be told by a young man who I regard as my child now to say I'm talking nonsense. I'll never say so to him. My child is my age. I'll never say so.
I hear you, Prof. No, we apologize on that, and it will never happen again. I think you must apologize to Prof for the nonsense.
No, let me come in.
Yeah, and apologize first.
Yeah, I apologize upon that.
Yeah,
But in a simple way,
yeah,
what the professor is saying is totally lies to our students, just bringing confusion to our students. So, but our students are very clear, and they are going to also rejecting the decision that was taken by Senate and also SFCs and SRC. For we know that SRCs they have a tea with the management. So us who are seeing as political structures, we have deployed them. And from our side, from the EFS command, no any deployee is agreeing to this particular decision that was taken into Senate.
Kelvin, is that the understanding from your side as well? Because you guys have deployed student leaders as SRCs into that, and Prof was in a meeting with SRCs that agreed that examinations can sit. Is that the agreement as well from your side?
My leader, I was once in the SRC, the former deputy president of the Republic of Shanguve.
Yeah.
Now, in this situation, in my experience, what I can tell you is that when you are there as an academia, but at the level of NQF level 6, level 7, level 8, you cannot articulate compared to them when you're in a physical situation. They more with technicalities, glitches, in a way that you'll be like, you've been answered. Like, for instance, Prof, when are you going to fix the door? Okay, the door. Okay, so we send an email to maintenance, they're going to work on it. Then when you're out, you believe that the issues are resolved. It's not necessarily resolved. They bought your time.
Okay.
So in this situation, we're not necessarily in that meeting. Now we're in a city with the DVC of teaching and learning, addressing these matters with the branch.
Yeah, Kelvin, I want you to tell
Correct.
Professor Mukhola what is it that the students want.
Correct.
And what is it that they are not understanding about the message that he's saying to them.
As a clear simple thing, from the office of the DVC of teaching and learning, which is led by Prof. Mukhola, there's no consistency. Our students, they believe in one thing right now. They were subjected to online. They had to acclimatize to that condition. All of a sudden, now they are told that if you are assessed online, there's no credibility. If there's no credibility, we don't want to go far. CHE is here, the Council of Higher Education. It's not far, it's just here. How did it allow SMU under MBCHB to say that if your average is 60%, you don't supposed to write an exam. If your average is less than 60, you are subjected to write an exam. But when online, my fear with TUT is one. TUT is the University of Technology in the whole country and also in the whole continent. It is leading because you can't lead in a country and continent and don't express the sentiment of showing indeed you deserve the merits of being the University of Technology. Right now, let me close this one on this one. Prof must afford to give us one learner's match right now. What must happen to this thing of online learning? If right now we must say that we are subjected to the exam venue, and then when we are right there at the exam venue, that particular assessment, it is the only one that carries the volume of integrity alone. What is the importance of those ones? If those ones, they were not the sense of online security.
Yeah, but Prof, maybe just to bring in, because of, I think there's also an expectation that was created from what I'm hearing, that it seems as though the communication was that once students are online, they will just be online and it will never go offline. What caused the change?
No, there's no such communication. There was no such a communication that everything will be done online. In what the state is actually are saying, they must show you that communication. Definitely. Like I said, it will be very good if students read policy, because what we do is in line with the policy. Again, I'm surprised. Do they insist that now they must get what we call a free qualification without an effort in it? They said, we are not ready for this week. What did we do? We gave them a week to prepare. How far can we go, Mukiti, to protect the credibility of their qualification? You know, I'm really late by here to say we are trying to make sure that now what you get out of TUT, nobody will question you. Nobody will question your qualification. No CHE will come and say, stop offering civil engineering. Now they are forcing me to say, no, just let everything loose. Let CHE say, TUT, don't offer qualifications anymore. Mukhola, yesterday I gave a good example. There's a qualification from one of the universities in the Eastern Cape, which CHE cancelled. What do? They refer all those students to TUT. Because of what? Things like this. Is this what they are asking me to do? That my student must be transferred to somewhere else when they discover that now we are doing something out of line. Mukhola, I'm not prepared for that. No Senate of this country can allow that. To work outside our own policies, we students were part in designing.
Now, this is where we are now, and the students are saying they are rejecting, the examinations, and they will continue, with the rejection of those qualifications. What becomes the way forward now?
It's not going to work. I can tell you, students are writing. You go to engineering, they are almost finished. They are almost finished. It's only a few students. So those who don't want to write Mukhola, what can I do? Those who are ready to write, they are writing. As I talk to you now, some departments are almost halfway finished.
Sure. And obviously, let's take, for instance, I am a Mokete and I want to write, but now there's a protest on campus for those that are saying they're not ready to write. What happens to me then?
No, we are making plans now to protect those students who want to write. Remember, we had a similar problem one time in Sochanguve when we had to really protect our students and say, those who want to write. And see, almost, because I can tell you, 99% of our students don't want to see what is happening. They are ready to write.
But
99%.
Yeah.
It's only a small fraction of people who are really trying to cause problems because they've got nothing to lose. Surely, they've got nothing to lose. So we have the responsibility as TUT and the community to protect our children who came here for education, and they must know that when they leave with a credible qualification. That's our responsibility.
But Prof, if I may just ask you, does it not bother you when the students say that the majority of them are not necessarily confident that they'll be able to cope with the examination schedule? Is it not something that sort of bothers you in terms of...
majority? I can tell you, it's not majority. This is why I say to you, go and see what is happening in engineering. They were forced out of the exam. They are very upset, Mukhola. Go and check what happened in us. The students are writing, like I'm telling you, I'm 100% confident. It's a small number that is causing problems.
All right. Now, I'm a student, I'm listening now, and there was a protest even today. What is your message to me? Should I come back to school tomorrow?
No, tomorrow don't come. You are going to start writing your test on Monday the 8th. That's the arrangement. And the university is putting everything together to make sure that now our students are protected. We'll do everything to protect them. We don't want students to simply talk to their lecturers to say, please take us somewhere else. And by the way, they are hiding because they are fear of these students who are causing problems. We want them to write in a public place where everybody can see them, so that now when they leave here, they are able to report the qualification. It will be a day when TUT simply says, our university is a pass one, pass all. That will be a day that this university's future will be doomed. And if there's got people who are insisting on doing that, I think we need to stop them.
Let me take one call, and if you hold on there, I see there's more calls coming through. It's 57 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock. I'm going to take just 2 calls and then allow the student leaders in studio to also wrap it up for us with Prof. Mukhola. I think there's one. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. I'm great, my great sir. Yes, Kevin. Say your short, my brother.
Okay, look, when the question previously from a leader that she said that today the students were writing in campus in the science building, while activities were sustained, and they found the students flooded. Over 50% of the capacity. Pictures were taken.
Okay.
So what was attention, my brother, because we are failing to answer to question the professor with regards to that, because tomorrow people in campus, and then to lead education leaders to take evidence of us, because we were hoping that we going to question the professor about that, because it's reaching the public regulation. Ours is the safety.
Thank you so much, Kelvin. I think we'll transfer that to the professor. Awesomeness. That is Kelvin coming there. We want to take one more call, and then we go back to Prof. Mukhola. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening.
Mokete.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm coming back for the second time. Can I just update Mr. Mukhola?
Yes, yeah. Look, I'm going to request you to just, we don't have time. Just keep it as short as possible, my brother. Just as short as possible.
Yes. Mr. Mukhola, Prof. Mukhola, now you want to be professors at some point. Whatever we have heard him online, whatever that is saying, what the things are going to go, wherever and he planned him alone, those things are not going to happen. Because as we want to complete our qualification, we're supposed to complete last year. It's busy dealing us even now. They are being delayed, even today. Whatever that Prof has said, we heard you, the Prof, we're fine, we are not fighting you. Whatever that we have done is fine. But we are going to see who's going to go right there, or maybe Prof will go right for us. That's all. We don't know how those things are going to operate now. We have talked too much, it's fine. Right for us. You know, we are not going to the venues. And Prof lies again. Students them that they are striking for themselves. That they were supposed to write on Saturday. They got comrades, only 5 comrades, but can you just come and then stop the you think we are not ready for that? On Saturday, this is what we are coming to.
Okay.
They were supposed to write at 1 o'clock. They never wrote.
I'm letting you go, Siane. Thank you so much, Sia. I'm letting you go. We're going to go to the next caller. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. This is the last one. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. From Joburg.
Yes, Koketo.
I speak for most students when we say that TET has made us so tired of these assignments. January got fair and decided we were not doing anything. Only here in February, they were piling us with assignments on top of assignments. And now they want to tell us that in a week's time we're writing exams, or now they call it tests. We are mentally tired. We are mentally exhausted. How are we supposed to do our level best when we are so tired?
I hear you, Gogetso. All right, awesomeness. Okay, you have another point. Gogetso. Yes, I'm saying you can go ahead.
I think we're just tired. And then for me, it's why can't we just do online tests? Some of the modules we already finished. We already finished with them. Now we must another test. It took time to finish those assignments. It took energy. Why should we now start again and write write tests again on top of the modules that we already finished? It's unfair. We want to graduate. Some graduates can't afford and paying for us for this. They can't afford to keep paying school fees. But here we are 3 months into another year.
Thank you so much, Koketo. 2 after 8 o'clock. That was the last page. Okay, we're taking one last caller, and then we go back to Professor Mukhola. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening, Ribuale Mang Alekokai.
Yes, speaking to the Nani Matira. Hi.
Yes, how are you, my sister?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
I'm good. Go for it in just a minute. Go for it.
Yes, I want to say the university must not say 99% of the students are ready. No, that is false news. We are not ready. Of course, we do want to write, but then they must not force us like this. They didn't give us time. Right during Christmas, we had to study instead of enjoying our holidays. Now they want us to pick up all the pieces and make everything. No, it's not fair for us, unfortunately. And when he says students are ready, which students are those students that he's speaking about? We must pick up those students and put them up there and say, these are the students that I'm talking about, which is false. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear you, my sister. Let me go back to Prof. Mukhola and hear what he has to say with that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Awesomeness. 3 after 8. Prof, it seems as if I had lost you again.
Mukete, I don't know what's happening today. It's just unfortunate.
Okay, but now the few students that have called now, they are saying they don't want to write because they feel exhausted by the online assessments that were done already. But most importantly, they're saying it is not true that 99% of the students are willing to write. And if there's such students, you can actually just bring them up because of they're saying that in their majority they don't want to write. But the other student who had called now is saying they are not ready because one, they were told at such a short notice and they feel that they will not be able to cope with the examination.
Look at you, who told them in short notice? Because they've been in the process since last year, December. We did the same thing in the first semester. What we are doing now is nothing new. We did the same test summative in December last year. What is new here? Why all of a sudden they want to turn against their own assessment type?
And Prof, now how true is it that with the tests that we've been written now, that there was no adequate protocols for COVID-19 regulations within those venues? How true is that? They're saying they've got pictures.
It's not true. Go to all our classrooms. We'll never accommodate more than the number that is required. You'll see sanitizers are there. It's not true.
So they're lying.
Go to D-head and I check at a D-head, come and do the inspection. If you are flout to the rules, there's no way TUT can flout COVID-19 rules. There's no way.
So what happens if none of the students come to write these examinations as the university is saying they should go and write, and it seems as if they don't want to go and write?
The truth is, I told you, go to engineering, go to arts. Almost halfway they are done.
So which faculties are remaining?
They've been writing. Come again?
I'm saying which faculties are not willing to write these examinations?
What I know, the faculty of engineering, if people started they were writing this Saturday. So if you go and check there, I want to see who are these. So I think it's a very small number of students who are causing problems. The majority are done. Go to ICT. Every student, they even say, don't postpone this week because we are almost done.
Sure, okay.
The students who want to write, they want to write because they are not prepared to get a bogus qualification. That's the truth.
All right. Because of time, we'll definitely have to end it. Let me bring in the student leaders. Makaz, okay. The university is saying, and this is Prof. Mukhola from the university saying that there's no other way but through examinations that the year can be completed. And I think we've heard some of the comments from the students who were quoting there. But this is where we are. It's a quagmire. The university is saying there must be examinations. What is the way forward from here? Will there be further engagements with management? What is to be expected? And this is to the student that is listening at the moment.
No, it seems like a professor doesn't want to hear the best interest of the students. Why I'm saying that is because of it's us student leaders who always on the ground, listening to all issues that students are subjected to. So now if a student come to you crying, saying that actually I cannot cope to such a pressure, as a student leader, you cannot just relax upon that, right? Because it will be showing your own incompetence, right? As someone that should be providing direction to them. So we've been engaging students, and also students have been engaging us, and therefore students in majority of them, actually all of them that are going to that are supposed to write a contact examination or a test in that regard, they are saying that they don't want to write. Therefore, that is the mandate from the ground.
Now, what is becoming a problem here? Prof. Mukhola is saying he's receiving calls from some students, and you are saying the students who are saying to you they want to write. Maybe we need to get proof of those that are saying they don't want to write, and then we can get proof those that are saying to Prof. Mukhola they want to write. Can that work, Prof. Mukhola? To say those that want to say, so that we can see who are the majority here.
If we had a chance, I would say let's conduct a survey, but it's too late because people want to write and start the new year in April. The time is not in our side.
So in your meeting, Yeah, in your meeting with SRC. So they all said no, they are okay. They want examinations to continue.
The agreement was yesterday. We want to have an extended week so that now we can prepare. This is why you see we said and agreed that now only on the 8th of March the test will be written. The test which will start the same time with engineering and then ICT. So this is the agreement that we have, and unfortunately the students who are disturbing other students to write, who don't want to really see progress, we have to put security in place to make sure that now those who came here for a purpose, they must live with a product of a qualification. We have to protect them, and we'll do everything to protect them.
All right, Prof. We hear you. So you're saying that tests will resume on Monday, or the activities will resume on Monday?
Yes.
Okay. The professor.
Thank you, Mokete. Thank you, Mokete. I think we need to, in future, that's just my advice. We need to bring students who can argue academically to say, we raise this because this is what we know. I'm still disturbed by the insults that I receive from this type of students that are against my children. So this is not the way to go in the academic world. Here we want people who must bring their logic and argue from an informed position, not to come in really on a public platform to start insult others. I can't even insult my own child. That's me. I can't insult anyone who is younger than me. That's me. But to be insulted this way, I find it very disturbing. Very disturbing.
No, I hear you, Prof. We sincerely apologize with regards to that, Prof.
Sure.
10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, Prof. Have a lovely evening. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Sure. I'm taking the last round of calls and then we are wrapping it up because irrespective of how many calls we take, we don't take. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. I'm well. How are you, my brother?
I'm well, man. You're speaking to Prince, the coordinator of the UFF student command Future branch.
Oh, so you're back from the match?
Yes, I just wanted to give clarity to the revolution that you started here by the UFF student command.
Yes, Prince, shoot.
Yes, therefore, I wanted to just review points with you. Firstly, I wanted to highlight that Prof. Mukhola spoke about students being subjected, and you never said anything regarding that. Then when the student that are speaking to and the student that are calling, they are saying they are saying that being respectful to us. I don't know, the young ones respected, then the old ones must be respected. All of us, we must be respected. Because if you are going to tell the students that this thing, I wish that of producing a society student here and leaders.
I didn't capture that correctly. You said what happened?
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm saying I didn't capture the first part. You are saying a student was insulted.
I'm saying that Prof spoke about students being insulted and the leaders being insulted at the beginning of the interview.
Being what?
Allow that. Then now.
Wait, he said students did what?
They spoke about Prof being hurt.
Yeah.
They are saying that being respectful to us. What are you telling
No. Listen, let me correct you. I said I don't want anyone saying the Prof is speaking nonsense. I cannot say. Listen to me. Listen, I cannot say that they are insulting Prof when they are saying he's old. He is old. That's not an insult. It's like if you're saying I'm young. You're not insulting me. But if you're saying, yeah, listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, allow me to speak. Listen, Chief. Wait, Prince.
You never even mentioned the law, Prof. How can you say a student is societal? Now, how many people are listening to him say that this student, his own product is societal?
Associated. The what? I can't hear him properly. You hear him?
Societal.
I can't hear exactly what you are saying.
I'm saying that Prof at the beginning of the interview.
Yeah.
He mentioned that students have been short-sighted.
Short-sighted?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, I didn't capture that.
Yes, but he spoke about that. You never said Prof. Why are you saying that?
No, I didn't hear that. I would have jumped in.
So, and when they are speaking about Prof being old, then you came and protested.
No, I did not. I would not do that. I mean, ageism is something that is there. I said, and look, listen. I spoke to Makaza and one caller who said the Prof is speaking nonsense, and I would not allow that. You cannot say another individual is speaking nonsense on air. You get me, Prince?
Okay, but and the student did that. What does it mean?
Yeah, I'm saying I missed that part. But had I captured it, I would have intervened.
Okay, then Prof. Mukete, let me just clarify that a person that is society is that a person of which is going to say that we are going to continuous assessment, we agree on continuous assessment, then when we are completing that continuous assessment, we wrap up the year, it's coming on examination. We send that to copy. Firstly, when we was implementing the continuous assessment that we must study online and write tests and assignments online, what was it thinking? Is it that we're going to copy the start?
All right, let's wrap it up so I can go to the next caller.
Yeah. Why am I saying that we're copying now? So, Mukete, I had Prof. Students doesn't want to write. We don't want to write the examination, and I had Prof say that he better resign if he must come and meet students' demand. But then he said, I will not succumb. So if he's not going to succumb, as the EFF coordinator, I'm saying that also us, we are not going to retreat, neither surrender. We are going to fight until we win this particular session.
All right, noted.
And from the start, we had a survey of students saying that are they willing to go online? They want laptops and data, but then the men students they never receive laptops. Now data they don't receive it anymore. We are continuing saying now, in March now, no one receives data again now. But they're online. No one receives the laptops. They're online.
All right.
And now, Prof must know that.
Prince, time is running out. So keep it short. Time is running out.
You get to send the track at best. They never had laptops to do this online thing. But they tried. They complied. They put the assessment and test online. It was fine like that. So now, we must go to, we must do a survey. If that's the case, do a survey that who wants to, then we will see. Do a survey, who want to write, who don't want to write. We see that survey, the result of that survey, they are going to say. But then, if it's in that man, they still write, tell him that they're going to meet him by the gate. Thank you very much.
Awesomeness. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Hello, hi.
Hello, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you, my sister?
I'm good. It's Snow from Pretoria West.
Yes, Snow.
Yes, saying we cannot write exams because we were told to write online tests and assignments, of which we did. And the thing about exams, it was not mentioned until last week to say we were going to write in exams. So we did not have enough time to prepare. You understand that?
I hear you, my sister.
And yes, and there was also a petition going around so that students can sign to show that we do not want to write for sitting. So what the prof was saying about the implementation students, it's wrong.
Okay, awesomeness. Let's go to the next caller. Thank you so much, my sister. Sure. I see there's around 134 missed calls that we missed. We apologize on that. We could only take one call at a time. So this is what the students are saying, Makaza. This is what the students are saying, Kelvin. Let me just take this one, final one, and then we wrap it up. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Yes, Sabu.
I would just like to comment on the previous caller that if there is going to be a survey that is going to be done about who wants to write and who doesn't want to write, I'll be the first one to be on that survey. I don't want to write.
I hear you. So why don't you want to write, my brother?
No, I feel like the thing is that I just want to do the job of 6 months per month. So it is difficult for us to actually write because of this particular pressure that we are facing.
Okay. No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. This is where we end it. Kelvin, Makaza, the students are listening. They want to know the way forward. The professor is saying on Monday classes are resuming. What is the way forward?
Mukete, what clear on Monday if professor we're going to meet arrogance with arrogance.
I hear you.
Because it seems like what he's doing is just bringing arrogance towards us as students, right? And to register that, who are the major stakeholders of this particular university, and he's not dealing with community members or academics. So he must bring us on board, and therefore he must also always serve the best interest of students, not always abusing us as his students. If he cares about us, no contact examination.
Thank you. Kelvin?
Hey, Mokete, it was a lovely session in a way, although we're disturbed by the video from our DVC.
Yeah.
The disappointing part about DVC is one, he's always early to respond in terms of interdicting students, in terms of expressing their views and leading students democratically, so as the constitution of the country, the constitution of the university is allowing them. Like, for instance, right now, you even had it. He apologized, and the fellow force of mine next to me here, on that matter.
Correct, yeah.
On a later stage, he brings it back. Now, he brings what? An emotional challenge in the situation of a debate of this nature.
I hear you.
The apology was executed, done. Now, on a later stage, why do you bring it back in the matter? But nonetheless, it's fine. Prof will address that one. So right now, Prof has indicated that on Monday, on the 8th, teaching and learning is continuing effectively in campus. Contact learning, it is continuing. Assessment will be done. Students will be subjected to that particular tent, that thing is a project. Someone is eating there, so surely I tend to believe that it's his burrito, I suppose, of which he wants it to operate so that it can serve his interest, I suppose. So right now, what we want to represent our students fairly so. If we have students who want to write, the question will question, how do they want to write? If they want to write online, now the university, if indeed it doesn't have confidence in this program of online, why was it proposed from day one? If it cannot provide effective outcomes in terms of final assessment of a student, why is it democratic that we must bring the students at this current time to come to campus? Are you simply saying that at the current sitting right now, this situation where we are right now, are you saying there's not a mist of COVID-19 at the current time? Are you saying that the almost 63,000 students registered with the most preferred university of technology in the globe or nationally in a way, are you telling me that TUT doesn't have a situation whereby we don't have disabled students, critical students who are having mobility issues right now? Are you telling me that those students, they are subjected to report to that wall? What courtesy are you going to provide for such students if you are saying that each and every student is subject to report there? Last year we completed an academic semester 1 of 2020. There were qualifications whereby students were not subjected to sit in a particular assessment. They completed them with assessment online in agreement with their particular lecturers. And it was not effective.
But ultimately, now that the prof is saying what is the way forward?
The way forward is very clear and simple. We're going to represent the views of students. If students are saying that on Monday they want to write, where online, it must be like that. Prof must go back and deploy a particular company if they don't trust the faculty of ICT in Soshanguve that is led by Dr. Sitsedi there. If it doesn't provide effective technologies, proper ICT graduates who can give us a program that can provide a supervision online. Because here we must protect life. We must not compromise life because Prof. Mukhola says that students must report here. We have the whole University of Witwatersrand that did not afford to subject its own students to sit in the university. SMU, not far away from us, here, they were not subject to report in campus. All of them, they completed their academic calendar online. What is the problem with TUT? If TUT is indeed the leading university of technology in the whole continent, why can't it provide the best mechanism that can give us progressive graduates who are not going to compromise quality in terms of employment as far as the employer out there is concerned? Give us quality. How to give us quality? Provide those enough mechanism that can afford to invigilate, supervise this particular assessment online. At the same time, the same system, it must not be subjected to victimize the student in the city. Like, for instance, in the Faculty of the Science, there in Arcadia, there, it is a different faculty compared to the Faculty of the Arts. In arts, if they're doing design, fashion, if they're doing jewelry, those students, the way they conduct their teaching and learning, it's way different compared to the Faculty of Science. That is why, Prof, in the engagement, he likes mentioning Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Arts. Art is progressive, regardless of online taking place. They can continue with their teaching and learning in a physical situation because of one thing. Their learning is more of a practical situation. A lecturer comes and assesses them based on their skill, on a particular activity given to them, like dance. If a student can dance in a particular way, that is assessment. If a student can design in a particular way that can suit the market space, the lecturer can provide a clarity and direction on that one. The Faculty of Science, now we have CHE, the Council of Higher Education. A Council of Higher Education doesn't say, I only represent a particular program. It represents each and every program offered by every university in the country. If TUT is offering fine arts, it means VETS can also offer fine arts. All of them, they're going to report to CHE. And then if indeed the big part restraint afforded to allow a student to graduate through online learning and also through online assessment, automatically, what is the Kokmaya with TUT that afford to advocate online in a way that indeed can meet the standard of the University of Technology as far as it is concerned? Or they must tell us now to question the merits of TUT being the best University of Technology in the whole continent. Because the current moment right now, it tells you for the fact that our whole DVC doesn't have confidence in his students. At the same time, it tells you your own DVC doesn't have confidence in the online system that was provided by him to the students at large in the whole TUT. So right now, it means we have to scrap out everything that was done online because there's no confidence in it. If there's no confidence in what gives us assurance that sitting there, it is confidence, whereby last year Prof could not afford to resolve one simple matter. There was a rain. Flooding down there beneath the fingertips of students.
I'm sorry, the comments here are changing the scenario in so I think there's Glad Mahlatu saying the dancing part. I think in your statements, I think they're just amused by the fact that you mentioned that those that are dancing can be viewed different. But gentlemen, we have to end it at some point, and thank you so much for your time. You want to add one other thing?
Just one bit of point of privilege in a way.
Yeah.
My advice to the DVC of teaching and learning in this situation is that I think it's more convenient that he becomes considerate and consultative. You understand? Remember, when you speak of consultative, we don't say go there and listen and at the same time impose the person who must provide direction for you.
Sure.
The current time right now, the deficit of teaching and learning, he must afford to check that if TUT has this number of graduates and this program, it requires this and that for it to be effective. Consider all the merits. At the same time, go down to also your deans, your faculty, your departmental HODs to check if indeed this assessment was done on merits of effective outcomes. Because right now, the deficit of teaching and learning, he does not provide a proper directive on how to provide a proper quality assessment. Because he's only saying that, let's sit in the wall. So sitting in the wall, it must not be the only primary objective that gives us quality. Rather, say that in the future, the online operated, it gave us quality. We want to enhance the quality of it by saying that a group of students who are not in a comorbidity situation, they rather come to campus and write. And now supervision can be organized. And then in terms of that, if you are saying that they must now come to campus, we are now on the registration. You are simply saying there's no online registration. Every student must come to TUT and afford to be assisted. So if everything is going to come to TUT automatically, online, it tells you that it won't be taken serious. Because at the current moment, even online is failing the students. You should have asked Prof.
Let me just take this call and we wrap it up.
Okay.
Good evening. You're live on Tshwane FM.
Good evening.
Yes, hi. How are you, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Annie.
Yes. You're talking
to Karabo around Pretoria. I'm a first year student, but already, I'm dead because every day TUT changes plans, every day is due date, like
clear.
kind of deep.
Okay, Karabo. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next caller. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm great. Say, how are you? Walemang Alikokai.
We're speaking to Tshwane from Philippines.
Yes, Tabo. Are you repeating yourself again?
No, I'm not repeating it. My first time calling.
Okay, Tabo. Shoot for it. Just a second, my brother. Shoot for it.
Mr. Mokete, I want to provide clarity also on this one. I said that the leader of SASCO is speaking about the program that is supposed to be implemented and the group to be monitoring us on writing our assessment. But then, remember, the prof said to us that we must write our continuous assessment, those which included assignment and test. And now, on my program, I was getting 6 assignments and tests in team, each and every subject. Then therefore now I submitted my last assignment on all my modules. So now, what examination am I write? Where must I enter for what? Because according to me, and what we agreed from the start is that I'm done with this academic check.
Okay, my brother. No, we've captured that. Let's move to the next caller. Thank you so much, Tabu. We've captured that, partner. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening.
Afternoon, sir.
No, it's evening, my brother. How are you?
Yes, you're talking to Tabiso at Emery in Pumalang.
Gunjan Tabiso ba?
I'm fine, sir, but I'm not fine. I've been listening to the radio and everything.
Okay.
I hear what is happening and everything, but I was told from my lecturer that I'm supposed to write 6 assessments for online learning, of which they did their waiting and everything. One we have write them contact in the venue and everything, but now things are changing where we are done with everything. I wrote 5 assessments online. The weights, they were not the same according to the lecture, how the lecture taught us and everything. But now today I'm told that I must come back from Pretoria to come and write. And with the situation that is here at home, I can manage maybe for the whole of this year because I was almost done with my qualification. I'm doing advanced diploma in marketing. So I was almost done. But now I must come back to Pretoria. I don't know, like I'm stressed. I don't know which one is it. This other side, the university is closed. I cannot go to the university. I'm not even staying in any residence by that side. I don't know which one I must do. Now I'm lost. But Monday they are saying I'm writing. I must go to the venue.
Sure.
I got all the chapters and everything. Now I must go back to Pretoria to the venue and write and everything. I don't know which one I must do. Like I'm lost. Like I'm lost. I don't know what is happening.
Your point is registered, my brother. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let's hope the leadership is listening and they'll attend to that matter.
Thank you, my friend.
Awesomeness. Sure, I've actually went way above board, taking all these calls and trying to be generous. I think we need to wrap it up at some point. Otherwise, I'll be the next one that is going to be fired for taking too much time on air. And thank you so much for your listening pleasure. Okay, this number has been calling for some time. I'm going to give it time. Okay, well, it switched off, so it means that it's not there. Yeah, man. Kimangna. The lady Molara, I've been closing. You're live on Tshwane. You are the last one. Good evening.
Your call has been placed on hold.
That's a lady. That's one.
Okay. All right. Let's accept another one who's not going to put us on hold. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Tshwane, hello. You're live on Tshwane. Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
You're speaking to Angela from Pretoria, Losile.
Yes, Angela.
Now my concern is that, like, we've been under pressure, like, ever since from December, like, there's been assessments and all that. January, we've been completing module to module. So, like, what I want to ask Prof is that, I don't think we'll pass like this year. Like this, we are not ready, and this is so unfair to us as students because, like, we've been in the university for so long. We just want to finish. Like we just pray that Prof, can we please, listen to us. We do not want this assessment, this affirmative assessment. We want continuous assessment, because why were they saying we must write continuous, and then to them online was fine. Now because we're on level 1, they changed, and it was like recently. Why?
I hear you. Your point is registered, my sister. Thank you so much for the call.
Thank you.
You're live on Tshwane. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well. It's Pebeti here speaking from Malamule.
Yes, Pebeti.
Yes. I am saying when I'm okay to that, Prof. Mukhola is wrong.
Okay.
And I would like to thank Student Command for striking, because now I am in Malamulele. I had found a job because we were told we are doing everything online.
Sure.
I now have to come back to Pretoria and write exams.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, no, thank you so much. The student command has heard. Let's hope that you don't have to come back.
I won't come back.
Okay, awesomeness. Let's go to the next caller. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
I'm great. You're
You're speaking to Natasha at Pretoria.
Yes, Natasha.
All I want to say is Prof. Mukhola must fall. Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
Yes, clear.
You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Tshwane, hello? Yes.
Yes, she's speaking to Martha from Lady Magnet.
Yes,
So,
Martha.
as much as my debater can sing at school, they should also sing for us who are staying far. Or like we came here and they repatriated accommodation, so they shouldn't extend April.
Okay.
So by March we need to be done, because we are paying for the transport and accommodation.
So when I'm not with Aleni, Lengo like a police can Yeah.
But online is better. I'm going to tell the transport, we're staying far.
Okay, Manis. No, your point is registered.
Thank you.
You're live on Tshwane. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Manis. So, Mang Alikokai.
I am speaking to Karab from Pretoria.
Yes, Karabu.
Hey, I'm hearing that other students will be writing multiple choices on campus based on 15. And what's happening?
Hey, my brother. That's what we are hearing as well.
I'm saying, how come people are doing level 3, they are able to write multiple choice, and people are doing level 2 modules, they are saying they're going to write long questions?
Hey, that's the system, my brother. Unfortunately, I hear your frustration.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening.
Hi,
Yes, hi. How are you, my sister?
I'm fine, thanks for yourself.
I'm great. Mang Alikokai.
You are speaking to Vivian Chuvenza from Eka Junction residence. I'm a first year student go to UT.
Yes, Vivian.
Yes, remember we're still fresh from high school, and then we had to adjust to online learning. The next thing, they're changing things for us, and this thing is just so difficult for us. But one surprise, we had to deal with a lot of assignments, and then come with a lot of tests. After the last ones, they're telling us that we must go and write at campus, of which is not fair for us as students. We're pleading with comrades, but student leaders do something about this. Thank you.
Tshwane, good evening.
Hello, Mukete.
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. It's Mongan here to Shanghai.
Yes, Bongs.
I've heard a prof state like he really wants to give us I would say a document which will be useful in the industry. My point is we are doing semester course. So we're given 6 weeks to accommodate a 6 months work.
Sure.
So that we doesn't want us to go into industry empty-handed. So how can you accommodate a 6 months work in 6 week time? Because it's from January, I think, on the 20-something of January, we submitting our work. Then up until now, then we're told that you go and write. So my point is, How, even if you want to write, when I go to the industry, how will you go to the industry empty-handed? Why in practice that we have to complete a 6 months work in 6 weeks time? You can't cope with that because you've been submitting still from the 20-something of January up until now.
All right. No, thank you. Thank you, my brother. Let's move to the next caller. Guest houses. Hello. Okay. I saw guest houses. You're live on Tshwane. Good evening. Hello. Hi. Disconnected. Tshwane. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, my brother?
Good, thanks. I'm calling you from Joburg.
Yes. Kimang Alekokai. Oh, sorry. From Joburg. Libuso Kimamba.
It's Busiso from Joburg.
Yes, Boo.
Yes. My question is that it's directed to the ANC as well as South Confidence.
Okay.
Yeah. My question is that what is it that they are saying about this? Because we have seen that they released a communique, I think a week ago or a few days ago, saying that they are against these sittings, and then all of a sudden they are no longer participating in any what you call this, in any revolt against these things. So my question is this to them: what are they saying about this thing, and what is the way forward from their side? And then lastly, I just want to ask a question to Prof. Mukhola to say, which students is he talking about when he's saying that there are students that they want to write online tests? Because from my side, majority, perhaps from our group chat, all the students are saying they don't want to write this test. So Prof. Martin come on and lie about us and say that we want to write online tests.
Sibusiso.
Things that I want to submit.
Sibusiso, Prof. Mukhola a re la mo founela lona le batla di-marks mola le rano ebile re a kopa and bona re batla ngola. So nina la bophakadi kwenu Sibusiso la mo founela professor.
No, he's not being honest.
We must check himself. Yeah.
I know students as well who are my peers who say they don't want to write. And majority I've been listening to the live show where Prof was speaking, saying that students want to write. And I can tell people that have been calling, not even one student has said that they want to go and write in a sitting test. So what I'm saying is that Prof mustn't come on and lie about us. We know what we want as students ourselves. And what we want is that we don't want to write.
I hear you. Thank you so much, my brother. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Awesomeness. We move now. I think the time is up. This one is by DJ Mujava. It's a song titled Mugwandi. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your listening pleasure. Our Banabis. Kili 41 minutes. Kaufela yona. Hour. At some point, I need to bow out. My colleagues are coming through. They'll be taking you all the way to Mina. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been an interesting one. Let's hope that there won't be a protest, and that whatever that the university management and student want, there'll be a break-even point that you'll wake up one morning and it'll be a sober day.
Correct.
Awesomeness. Yeah, this one is by DJ Ayobanes, DJ Mojab. It's a song titled Mukwanti wa Pichora. Good evening. Wait for me. Aye. If you only 2K, you can see.